What is up, fellas? We are live with Brent, and Joe will be here in just a little bit. He's had an issue. One of his buddies' system is not working. He's on the phone trying to, be a air conditioning guy. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. What's up, fellas? Yeah, hopefully Joe will be here in just a little bit.
Yep, TikTok. Hey, we're live now there, Billy.
Billy, refresh your thing, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna text Joe right quick and see what his status is, and then we will kind of get started. But you can talk there, Brent.
Well, what's up, fellas? I think this is kind of cool thing that me and Ralph are gonna do here.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
Answer any questions. Yeah, it'll be even cooler when Joe gets here because we can talk about infinities and spoiling smart probes and all kind of good stuff.
And the testos and the zoom lock.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm looking forward to trying out the zoom lock actually.
Well, when you think you're gonna get a hold of one?
Well, my spoiling guy is he just had a baby, so they're kind of working. He's kind of working from the house, so probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere around there.
Well, okay, cool.
So, it's gonna be a good thing to have it for. They're gonna let me try it out, and if I like it, then I'm gonna take care of business with it.
No, I think that'll be cool, man. I think you'll like it. I don't see why you wouldn't like it, man. I really think you will.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's see. Why don't I like the S-Mans? I don't like the S-Mans because simply they're just too big.
I'll tell you, Fieldpiece has really good customer service. I've used about all the digital gauges out there. Fieldpiece has fantastic customer service. And since they went to the new style S-Bands that has all the information on one screen, it's pretty nice. And apparently they've redone the clamps to where the clamps don't break. They have the yellow ones out now. So
yeah.
I don't have a whole lot bad to say about them, but I think they still are kind of cheaply made. They could be a little bit beefier in my opinion. But
hey, you can throw them off a roof though.
That's what they did they do that in one of their videos? No, that was the McCover machine they did that with.
I thought they did I thought they did the gauges a long time ago.
Yeah, they may have. Russell Harju, he's the guy who makes all those videos. I've talked to him several times. He's a real nice fellow.
All right, so Chris wants to know what's the difference between an inverter and a multi-stage condenser.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Well, an inverter is basically a multi-stage condenser, but multi-stage would be considered a two-stage. And an inverter would be either a fully variable speed or a five-stage. Yep, Mike HVAC answered it. Inverter is variable control with the drive.
My brother's texting me. He just tried to call me a minute ago. He's texting me about his air conditioning still. I told him to go check and see if it was frozen up.
See, yeah, as soon as we started going live, Brent gets a call from his brother. His AC is not working. My son texts me about somebody else's unit, and Joe is doing tech support over the phone with his buddy put in a system for a year and a half ago. That's an hour and a half away. So we're all being air conditioned guys at 9 o'clock at night.
Man, I don't know about you, but I live and breathe this air conditioning stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy it some days, and some days I'm just like, oh my God, I got to do this again. No, I really do like it. So Brent, you went out and did a call that I sent you today. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it was great.
Too.
Yeah, it was a change out quote estimate for a change out. It was hopefully we'll get it. It's a 5-ton unit, man. It's a hoss of a unit. So, but the attic it's a walk-in attic. I'm talking about much space as you could think of to work. So it
He
should be
said it was
nice.
really good when he called me. And the cool part is, I went and looked at his buddy system down the street, and his buddy got me off of YouTube. And when he called, he was like, "Are you still in the area?" I was like, "No, man, I'm at home. I just had pulled up in my driveway. I have to pick up some insulation, some duct wrap for um, zoning job I had to go fix today."
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
So
well, I appreciate that. I sent him a quote. We'll see what happens. I think he's got a really, really nice house on the lake out there. I think he'd be a prime candidate for a 5-stage.
yeah, but see if you could talk him into it.
Well, I told you I did my pricing, and my pricing, my 2-stage unit is more expensive by $10 than the 5-stage unit, which
Isn't that crazy?
it's wild.
Well, they want to do away with the 2-stage anyway. I mean, I don't really, what's the point in having 2-stage if you can go 5? And you can't say economy.
Exactly. No,
Because
Carrier's coming out with a 3-stage. They just put their new the new air handler that goes with the 3-stage. They actually have it on the website, but apparently the condenser got delayed for a while because of some Department of Energy regulations or whatever. So they don't know when that's going to come out, but it's well on the way. They got the FZ air handler on the Carrier website is for the 3-stage unit.
Well, now is the 3-stage going to be the same outdoor unit basically, except a different drive?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be fully variable, like with the inverter with set stages. I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, because my 5-stage, all those 5 stages are fully variable speed. The drive is just telling it to be 5 stages or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. It's got a fully variable compressor. It's just got 5 stages set for it. Yeah.
Right. And so that's the same thing with the 3-stage. It's got to be the same compressor.
I would think so.
Are 2-stage parts cheaper than to replace than 5-stage?
I'd say yes, because that a 5-stage inverter drive or something like that would be pretty expensive to replace. But now everything's got a 10-year parts warranty, so you're not replacing anything within the first 10 years of that. And my hope is, by the time these units that I'm putting in now, by the time they get 10 years old, I'm hoping some of these inverter boards and things like that will be a lot cheaper in price.
Yeah. Hey, somebody wants to know if they have a coupon code for Working Joe's. I mean, for True Tech Tools.
Oh, there's 100,000 of them.
Working Joe 17.
Yeah, HVAC Talk, HVAC Pro Talk.
Yeah, but
Get School. There's all kind of them.
Working Joe 17 is at 8%. Just about everybody else is 7%.
Yeah, well, for a while there, you could combine them. Like you could combine them together.
Yeah.
And obviously, Bill and the guys got smart on that. And I never bought anything by combining the coupons together, but you could. And I did it, in the cart, and you could combine like 3 or 4 of the coupons together. But
yeah.
Obviously, Bill got a little smart on that, which is a good thing.
There's Joe.
Oh, right.
But I bought those CPS gauges, and I use the Working Joe's. We have a special code. Me, Zach, and John. We have a secret code, I guess you would say. And then plus I had points.
Oh, cool.
So I got $100 off of what I was buying.
I've never looked at the points on mine. I probably got a ton of them. I've never even looked at that.
Yeah. So Joe, you made it, but you're muted out.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Can't hear you, Joe.
You don't know he's muted.
Mm-hmm. Send him a text.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he left.
Oh, left.
What the hell? Maybe he hit the wrong button or something. Let's see. Working Joe 17.
And you guys have any problems with Stay Bright? The Stay Bright, you got to learn to use it. I use it a good bit. When I first started using it, I had a little bit of issues, but I didn't know how to use it right.
Yeah, I don't ever use it actually. Let me send Joe a text and tell him he
just joined back in.
Yeah, I know. You're muted. He don't know he's muted. He just looking, waiting for us to talk. Keep leaving.
You gotta send him a text, tell him to stay in there and just unmute himself. He should be good.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps leaving and coming. Billy uses Stay Bright. I don't use it, but I guarantee if I start using a Zoom lock, I'll start using it.
Well, it as long as if you flux it right, you don't put too much flux, man, that stuff flows around there so easy, and it's it flows around there so easy. I was real hesitant for a long time, and I felt like I had to pile it on there.
No, you don't have to. He said he's not getting audio on his end. Yeah, because he's muted. So, yeah. What manufacturers have 5-stage in inverters? Not sure they even offer those in the Midwest. Yeah, they do. Carrier has them. ICP has them.
Everybody, pretty much.
Yeah. Rheem has fully variable speed, and they have 3 speeds too, don't they?
Yes. One of the heat pumps 3-stage, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, Linux has the fully modulated. They got the 21 and the 25. Man, they got some seriously ones.
They do make a good point. You say he uses liquid flux. You just squirt it on the pipe and it cleans the pipe. Or never had a problem with it. I used to work with some guys actually that used the liquid flux.
Yeah, I've never tried liquid flux. I never even thought about that. It might be interesting to try out.
Yeah. It does work pretty good. Yeah, Joe was having a problem, or otherwise he would have been in here with his audio. So I wonder if he knows about that little button. He's been in here before.
Yeah, you just click on it, the mute button,
there he is.
He's back again.
Let's see if he's muted. Hey, he's not muted no more. There you go.
Right, I can hear him now.
He's got the bird too. All right, now we can get started, y'all.
All right. What's the bird's name there, Joe? Maybe he can't hear us still.
The bird's gonna talk.
Yep. Polly, he's gonna eat the mouse.
Can you hear us, Joe? Well, I know
I can hear the bird.
Yeah.
And I can hear him.
Can you hear us, Joe? Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna send him a text. We can hear you, but can you hear us? I guess he can't hear us because he's not talking.
Yeah, apparently not.
He takes off again.
Damn, he run out again.
Yeah, he's trying to get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out for it. So with
wear gloves when used, dry right away so it won't contaminate the system. Yep, I agree with that. Yeah, okay, plan B. Justin. No, he'll make it. He'll make it in here. We just give him a little time. He had a lot of stuff going on.
Technical difficulties.
How fast does refrigerant run on a line set? Speed of light. How amazing would Zoom lock ready reversing valve be?
I could fit my Zoom lock in most condensers already.
But he's talking about the stubs off the reversing valve.
Well, I'm talking. Yeah, if they made a, he's saying if they make a compact version and then they make a Zoom light ready reversing valve. If they make just a Zoom light ready reversing valve right now, I'm gonna make it work. I promise you it'll work. It'll be, you might have to kind of position it in there to get it in there right, but it'll fit in most condensers now, because the thing is, it's 18 inches, maybe? No, not even that much, maybe 12 inches.
Yeah, I mean, you can fit it in there. I mean, we talked about doing it not too long ago.
Yeah, and I don't know if the actual zoom lock tool is longer because the actual zoom lock tool looks longer than the rigid tool that I have.
Right.
Mine's short and compact. It's not real long at all, and so I can fit it in most places. I haven't had a problem. I haven't ran into a situation where I couldn't fit it somewhere.
Well, I wish they would have came out with it a long time ago, because I can remember tons of time, working in new construction houses where the siding guy punched the line with the nail.
Yeah, well, okay, you say that. I guess I did run into a situation where I couldn't use the zoom lock because that happened at a church over here recently, and there was a nail through it, but the nail was down at floor level. So I had to take the trim off and then fix it that way. So it was just too close to the floor. Couldn't make it work.
Cool. Can you hear us, Joe?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in. I had a bad set of headphones or earbuds.
Well, we could hear the bird for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's bothering me.
He likes you.
Yeah.
Did you get your buddy straightened out?
No. He's got that Econet system I installed a year and a half ago, and that power outage, and it's got communication.
Well, cool.
I did talk to Joe, and Joe was, there's nothing really to do. You got to get out there and see what's going on.
Hey, is there a way you can turn your volume up, Joe?
Which one?
It's hard to hear you.
Yeah, you're real faint.
Where's my mic? I lost my mic. Why?
Sorry.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Stick it in the door. Talk again.
You there?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's much
Okay.
better.
We got you now. We got you now.
Oh, much better. Cool, man.
Okay, what'd I miss?
Everything.
We were talking about you.
Figures.
Yeah, we were talking about you.
Yeah. So Brent, we got to have a conversation about smart probes.
Sure, we can discuss it all you want, my friend.
All right, I'm gonna step back because I don't own them. I'm not gonna own them, so I'm just gonna step back and listen to you two.
So you said you had a sheet a mile long on these things that you didn't like about them. What didn't you like about them?
Well, I'll tell you, I've tried a lot of the digital gauges and I've tried a lot of the wireless tools and stuff. If it's going to be wireless and you're going to look at it on your phone, I want it to have some kind of Bluetooth range on it.
Yeah.
If I got to stand in front of it, I might as well have my hoses hooked up to it, And even if the range isn't that great, but the range on the smart probes is the worst out of any of them I've ever used.
Yeah, I mean what are you comparing it to?
Well, I'm comparing it to the smart Sporlins are better than that. I use the iManifold, of course, but that's not kind of a fair comparison. But the Sporlin is a fair comparison, and the Sporlin wireless range is better than the Testo. Not by a ton, but it's better. And first unit I went to with the smart probes, I tried to hook up to a Linux condenser. The angle of the service ports couldn't hook it straight on there, so I had to go out to the truck and get the hose and everything else. And I've had problems with the app. Whenever if I have them hooked up to a unit, then I got to walk back to the truck for something. I come back, they won't reconnect to the app automatically. I got to close the app and open it back up. That kind of stuff. And the app is not very user friendly at all. It took me longer than it should have to figure out how to change it from PSI or from it was maybe in it was in the wrong setting. It wasn't in PSI or Fahrenheit, so it took me a while to change it. It took me longer than it should have. The app's not very friendly either. Those are my main complaints.
Yeah, it is kind of let's say I know what you're talking about. It's not really user friendly.
Yeah, I call it very German.
Way.
It's very Germanish.
Yeah. But I mean, well, for what I do on a daily basis, I run sometimes 5 to 12 calls a day. And
Sure.
I don't want to lug hoses around through houses. I just don't want to lug hoses around anywhere anymore. So what I have is I got a tablet just dedicated right to the smart tool, and it sits there it sits right on the disconnect box,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't go anywhere. I'm not taking it around the corner. And I know what you're talking about, where the app doesn't want to reconnect to the probes.
Yep.
And it does get kind of annoying, but it's just, what do you expect out of it? I mean, what I want it to do is just, I don't want hoses. That's the reason why I use them, and they're very compact.
They are very compact.
That's my preference, and everyone has their own preference. And I do have the iManifold too. I don't use the iManifold as much as the smart probes, due to the fact is the type of customers I'm dealing with on a daily basis.
Sure. Now, do you have the iManifold or the iConnect?
iManifold.
Okay, yeah. I will tell you, the smart probes are very, very, very convenient. Like, they are quick to hook on a unit, man. You can pick them up, unzip the little pouch, push the buttons, and hook them on the unit in less than 30 seconds. You're reading pressure and whatnot.
Yeah.
But those other things kind of outweigh that factor of it to me. And I guess I've just been used to using the iConnect, which stays in my tool bag all the time, and I can just.
I told you, Joe.
It takes me longer. It takes me longer though to hook up the iConnect than it does the Testo. The Testo smart probes are more convenient to hook up than the iConnect.
Yeah, it is. That's the downfall of either the iManifold. I got the wireless, pressure probes for the iManifold. That's what I use. I don't even hook up the hoses. I just let the iManifold just hang there.
Sure.
So everything I use is all wireless. So I mean, it really comes down to personal preference for any tech.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. And at the price point that the Testos are, look, you can buy them, and if they last a year, then you've gotten your money worth out of them, really.
I'm on my second year with them, and I haven't had any problems with them leaking, connecting.
No, I got to zero mine out all the damn time, because I guess they're not temperature compensated. So I'll turn them on and they'll be reading like -3, and so then I got to zero them out every time.
Joe Shear was just talking about that a while ago.
Yeah, that's one of the downfalls. Nothing's perfect,
Sure.
But one thing I've never dealt with is, like you were saying, digicools. I've never dealt with digicools. I mean, I've known they've been around for a long time, but I've never had any interest in them. I don't even know about them. So, I mean, what's the difference between, a digicool and, I know it's a manifold set, but what's the difference between a digicool and, let's say, a 550?
Durability is the main thing, really. Durability. They're almost completely waterproof. They are very water resistant. They're very shock resistant, fall resistant. They're extremely accurate. They're much more accurate if you look at the specs on it. They're much more accurate than any of the other manifolds out. And like they were the first ones to put all the information on one screen. No toggling back like on the 550s and stuff.
Yeah, they were. I remember that. Even the older ones are like that.
Yeah, and I always thought the digicools kind of looked kind of cheesy, and I wasn't really a big fan of them. But I started reviewing all the digital manifolds, and I went in and I talked to the guy who created them, and we worked something out, and he sent me some, and he told me, pay me what you think they're worth, and I used them for 2 weeks, and I paid him the full price because they were one of the best sets that I'd ever owned, and
yeah,
that's what I got in my truck right now. I used to just carry the iConnect. I used to just carry the iConnect and the digicools. Now I got the smart probes, the iConnect and the digicools, but I don't know how long the smart probes are going to stay around.
Well, that's the thing. I got the Ralph sent me those the Spoiler Smart Tool.
Mm-hmm.
He don't
And
like
well, I like them, but it seems like the smart probes have more options, more versatility with the app compared
Sure.
to the smart tool. The smart tool is more geared towards refrigeration techs, where they don't, I don't know, need what the air conditioning guys need. You know?
No, you're absolutely right. You can do a whole lot more with the Testo app than you can the Spoiler app.
Yeah, I mean, for a residential guy like me, those smart tools, they work great. I mean, I don't have any complaints with them. I love them. You know, even I got like 7 techs working under me, and I got like 3 or 4 that are on them already. And
Well,
I mean, it works for them.
Yeah,
And
for the price, you can't beat it.
Now, Joe, you said you were telling your techs when they first started working, the new techs, that you want them to use analog gauges.
Yeah, back about 3 years ago, that was an agreement between myself and the service manager and the owner that, you know, our new techs or maintenance techs, I wanted to have them use analog gauges so they would actually try to figure out or have to figure out what subcooling was, what superheat was, and they could actually use an analog gauge, because say you get stuck with, you know, your digital gauge, you know, say you run out of batteries and you got to use an analog gauge, what are you going to do then? So, but my feeling now is a little different after I've used my stuff for about 2 years, and you know, just because they got a good price point.
Well, I think that even though you have a set of smart probes, you should still have a digital gauge, so you'll have a backup.
Yeah. So
yeah, you need backups for everything, and it's like, does anybody use a analog meter anymore, or analog amp clamp? Not really. You know, your backup for your meter is another digital meter. So your backup for your refrigeration gauges is going to be another digital refrigeration gauge. That's the way mine are.
Yeah, I mean, I have backups for everything. Yeah, you know, I mean, I got like four meters on the truck, and, you know, 3 different refrigerant gauges, you know, smart probes. I got a lot of stuff on my truck.
Yeah, hold on, fellas. I gotta find a charger for my tablet here and plug it in.
We'll be waiting on them.
But, you know, I mean, if now that I want the new techs to have digital gauges or smart probes or something, it just makes it easier for troubleshooting. And, you know, especially with me over the phone, I got like 7 guys under me, and it's a lot easier to troubleshoot.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't use pencil and pen to add and subtract anymore. We use our phones.
Yeah, except you know, if you're Zach, you know, that's a different story.
Yeah, Zach, he likes doing things the hard way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess when Brent comes back, we'll talk about some inverter stuff.
Yeah, we could do that.
You like inverters, don't you?
Yep, I do.
I love them.
My bird's being a pest.
A big old bird, man.
Yeah. He's being a pest. He's crawling under the desk and biting my toes. Yeah, this is Charlie.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Say hi, Birdie.
Hi.
Okay.
All right. Do you have your chat open, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can read what Noble Plumbing said.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of heat exchangers. And you know what? You know, that kind of brings up a subject that you know, when it comes to heat exchangers, that's one of the reasons why I got on YouTube. Because, you know, I got a lot of knowledge when it comes to, you know, heating. Obviously, I'm a heating guy, more so than an AC guy. But there was no information for heat exchangers on the internet.
Right.
And especially when you go to a customer's house and you say, oh, yeah, you got a bad heat exchanger, and you know what they're going to do. They're going to look it up on the internet.
Right.
Well, if I got it, like if I got videos on the internet, I must have at least 50, 60 heat exchanger videos on the internet.
You're like Steve Lab and
And-
the oil burners.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So that's one of the main reasons why I got on YouTube, is because I wanted to get that information out there. And it's not there. The information is not there.
So you're the heat exchanger guru, huh?
Yeah. Like I was talking to NorCal, Dave from NorCal.
Mm-hmm.
And we were texting back and forth, and he said he had to do some heating inspections one day. And he sent me a picture of what he had, and I told him exactly where the crack was, and he texted me back, and he's like, bingo, I found it.
That's pretty cool.
So,
What was that on?
it was on a 395 CAV Bryant, mid 90s. I think it was 1995 or so. You know, the ones he was working on. 4-cell heat exchanger. Cracks right at the dimples.
Pretty cool. So do you do a lot of combustion analysis, Joe?
Yeah.
Is that primarily how you find your leaks, through the combustion analysis?
No.
Is that what turns you on to looking for it, or how?
No.
What's your number one identifier to find a leak or find a crack in the heat exchanger?
You know what, guys? Hold on 1 minute.
Sure.
Hold on.
Well, you know, you got
The bird's getting rowdy.
Yeah, you got flame color and different things like that. And I just wonder what he looks at his first thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to say flame color, or the way the flame reaction.
Sure.
So something like that. Yeah, so when you came back, we were going to talk about the inverters.
All right.
Yeah. Because I know that I like how he sticks his microphone to his beard there.
It's a good spot to hang it.
Yeah, might as well be. Brent, is something burning in your house?
Yes, my wife has got incense going.
Does she really?
Yeah.
How could he tell?
You can see it in the back. You can see it in the background right behind me, back here behind the little bit of smoke. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, I kind of want to save heat exchangers until we get into heating season. We just got into AC season, so I mean, let me answer your question really quick about what, you know, that's kind of hard to say, Brent, because I've been doing this so long. I walk downstairs and look at the furnace, and I know where it's cracked. I know what to look for.
Sure.
And that's the thing I try to relay in my my videos, to where, you know, I'm trying to point out the areas that certain models crack, and I try to put the model number in the description, and I try to show it in the video, so at least some people that watch the video have a little knowledge on, okay, well, it could be cracked or it could not be cracked. Hey, let me get someone out here to check it. On the combustion analysis side, 90% efficient furnaces for combustion analysis.
Okay.
I'm looking at primarily CO when it comes to that. I'm not looking at so much oxygen when the blower starts up. I see that a lot online.
Yep.
Where people are looking at oxygen rise in the vent, and I don't like that at all. It's just not. I don't know. I don't see it being that important. I mean, the heat exchanger leaks to a certain extent. It's not 100% sealed, so you're going to have some oxygen that's going to actually get in the heat exchanger. Yeah, sure. It will get in the heat exchanger. So if that's what people are going off, or they have the, you know, thought that's what they should be looking for, that's not at all. You're looking for CO. You're looking for that high carbon monoxide.
Yeah, well, that's great information, Joe. Because I primarily, when I started doing this, I learned everything on heat pumps. I ran into a furnace when I did my first part of my career down in Savannah, and I ran into a furnace maybe once a year.
Yeah.
You know, and now, but I'm up in Atlanta now, so we have a lot of furnaces up here. So I've been learning combustion analysis, learning what to look for with the heat exchangers, things like that. But it's just a learning curve, and that's why your videos are awesome, man. They're so handy to check out and look at.
Cool. So
Yeah, I have.
hold on a second.
Well, one more thing, Ralph.
Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't done really too many combustion videos, which I really should start this year, and trying to explain, what to look for and how to fix it. Because actually, we got a company up here. They bought all their Texas combustion analyzers, and they had a back rack rep come in and say, okay, well, you got to be between these numbers, and everything should be good. If it's not, then you got a problem with the furnace. So what they were doing is if it was out of any kind of range, they would say, okay, well, you need a new furnace. It's not working.
Well,
And they didn't.
I hadn't come across any of that perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know how to fix it. So that's one thing I would like to cover next year in some of the videos on, okay, I got these readings. How do you fix those readings? Because there's a lot of things you can do to repair an appliance that a lot of guys won't do. And a lot of stuff comes down to air direction. And one thing I would like to do is, like, later in the year, hopefully, I'm sure I can get a hold of Jim Davis, and he's the one that actually, I went to his class, and it is an excellent class. I would recommend anyone go to that class, but it's very expensive. It really is, but it's every bit worth it. Even Steve Lav went to that class, and he loved it.
Yeah, Steve Lav liked it. Hey,
yeah, he came recently, and I tried to go, and I got booked up that week, and I didn't make it. But when he comes, he's going to probably come around to my area this winter. I'm going to definitely go.
Yeah, you have to take that class. It's going to change everything you know. It will, and it really surprised me.
Cool. Well, if y'all don't know, Joe there is MI Heating Guy on YouTube. So if you hadn't subscribed, look him up. And Brent is Brent Ridley on YouTube. But Brent doesn't do a whole lot of YouTube videos. He saves a lot of his stuff for Facebook.
Yeah, I put a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I used to do a whole lot with HVAC talk, but I hadn't been on there, and I hadn't been a real active on there in a long time.
All right. So Joe, you do a ton of inverters, don't you?
We do a lot of inverters through our company. I think just last week we did maybe 5 of them.
Wow.
We put in sometimes 3 to 5 a week.
Wow.
And,
wow.
And it just, this year it started to get to where we got better pricing on our inverters and our Infinity equipment, so we're starting to put in more equipment.
Now, do y'all do any green speed, or is it just 5?
You know what? We kind of stay away from the green speed just due to our area and the noise. The green speed makes a different noise.
Yeah, it's kind of a high pitched, kind of mechanical noise. Not
Yes.
mechanical, maybe just kind of a high pitched noise. It's hard to explain what it is.
It makes the same noise as the 5-speed, but louder, a lot louder.
Sure.
And
Yep.
especially in heating mode, when the thing can ramp up to 7,000 RPMs, it gets loud. So what happened was our salesman installed it in his house, and it was in between 2 houses. And he ran it for maybe 6 months and had to tear it out because his neighbor hated the sound. It kept him up at night.
Really?
So that's why we kind of stay away from the green speed. But I'm going to end up installing it in my house.
The green speed?
Yes. I'm going to get the green speed instead of the 5-stage.
Now, are you going to do zoning?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about zoning my basement due to the fact that my basement's cold. It's not finished basement, but it's cold, and I have a humidity issue. So the warmer I can get it, the better I can take the humidity out of the air. So I might end up zoning the basement.
Now, how much of a summertime do you have up there, Joe? That somebody would say, well, yeah, we need an inverter.
Well, That's the inverter. See, it's kind of a screwed up situation due to the fact is our supplier doesn't carry any two-stage anymore. Okay, they carry all inverters, and even carriers starting to get away from the two-stage equipment and going all inverter. So on our high-end systems, it's going to be inverter anyways.
Right.
So, I mean, no, they don't really need it. I mean, we got about 4 months of AC season. But if heat, we're doing a hybrid heat, that's a totally different story.
Right. Do y'all do a lot of
and what we usually do is if they're doing hybrid heat, they will put it on interruptible service.
Right.
Which gives us a discounted rate. I don't know what you guys have down there, but we have it interruptible service, and in the winter, I think we're getting like 4 cents a kilowatt. So that's why it becomes cheaper than running natural gas.
Right.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I have dual fuel now. What kind of temperatures are you getting out of it in the summer, in the wintertime?
What do you mean? What kind of temperature?
Like if you were in high stage.
You know, I really haven't paid attention to it. I really haven't.
I know mine. I just didn't. I turned mine off at 40 degrees. It was too cool for me.
And it's going to depend on the size of the heat pump too. I mean, your 3-ton heat pump, yeah, I'd probably run it down to 32 to 25 to 32, depending on your preference. Now, if you get up into the 4-ton, 5-ton, you're producing a little more heat. You can run them a little lower.
Right.
You know, that's what I noticed. Even with my older 2-stage stuff, I know that the 3-ton, I would cut out about 28 to 32, depending on the house. And if we got into a 4 or 5-ton, I'd be cutting out between 20 and 25.
They're really that low? That's pretty good. Though. That's pretty good. Yeah, you know, I was just looking at it today, and I told Ralph that I think before we went on the air here that my carrier pricing for my Infinity 2-stage 16 SEER versus the 5-stage unit. The 5-stage is $10 cheaper than the 2-stage.
That's what they're pushing.
You know, for the heat pump model at least, you know, so because that's wild to think about, but it's cheaper. So it's basically on my end, for me, it's a real simple choice for the customer. It's either you go single stage or you go 5-stage.
You go 14 SEER or you go 5-stage.
Well, it's they can you know I do offer them a middle. I offer them a middle tier, which is a single stage 16, but I don't offer. It's either single or 5. You know, there's no more 2.
There's no good there anymore, is there? It's better and best.
That's it.
Yeah, there's not. See the difference between Ralph and I work for someone, so price wise, I don't see too much price wise. I just know they're more expensive than the single stage.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys have more of an idea than what I do on any kind of price. It's I don't have time to pay attention to it. I got too much other stuff to worry about. I know what we're selling them for. I mean, we're selling them for some big money, but that's all I know. They're high-end systems.
Y'all putting in several a week. I'm sure you don't have much time to worry about that.
Yeah, when I was having problems with my 5-stage, of course I called Joe. I called Joe and I called Stan, who works for Coolray here, because Coolray does a ton of inverters.
Oh man, they do so damn many.
Yeah. So Joe really helped me, even though the ICP and the carrier are 2 different languages. It's still
we found that out, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I still have that thermostat sitting.
Yeah, and it didn't work. You tried to put a Bryant or a carrier thermostat interface on your unit, and it wouldn't work.
It would not work.
Would it even like load up, or what would it do? No,
it would say something. It would. I forget.
Communication error.
Yeah, communication error.
Okay.
It was a communication error.
But yeah, it definitely wouldn't work. But what's his name from Reggie from tech support over at Mingledorf said, no, that will work.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was when ICP was first coming out.
That's, one strange fact I ran across about a few weeks ago. I got the salesman calling me up. He's like, "Hey, can we do this? What can I do? I got a drywalled ceiling and I got two 5-tons, I had two 5-tons on a 3/4-inch line set. Can we put an inverter in?"
You
What do you
can
think?
probably. You could probably do it, but you'd lose capacity on it.
Yep, you're right. You can do it. You can put a 5-ton on a 3/4 line, and within, I think, 25 feet, you lose zero capacity. If you're between 25 and 50, you're losing 1%.
Yeah, and that's nothing.
Yeah, 1%'s nothing to even worry about. It's a lot less to worry about than, let's say, pulling the line set.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
pull
it's
the mindset for anything.
For 1%. Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd have to end up pulling drywall down and making a mess. If you lose 1%, what's 1%?
Yeah.
6,000 BTUs.
And I know that, Joe, because I've asked that exact same question. I ran into that same problem here in a retrofit that I had to do.
Yeah, which because you run into real funky stuff, and you got to make it work.
So, what issues have you had with inverters?
I'm sure Joe's had the AOC board and all that stuff.
Yep, the AOC board. We're talking on the 5-speed, not the green speed.
Yeah, the 5-speed.
5-speed, the original. We had a crankcase heater problem. We had an AOC boarder problem. We've had inverter problems with fan dropouts.
Yep, that's what I've ran into
a
couple times.
Yeah, but they
ran into that more a few times. But they straightened out the software.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have that problem.
That's all they had to do is straighten the software out.
Now, Joe, what do you know about the 3-stage carrier coming out? You know anything about it?
I heard it's coming, and it's going to be driven on temperature.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, they got the
That's
looking
what
on
I heard.
I was looking on the carrier website the other day, and they had a air handler on there I'd never seen before. It was a FZ model. So I text my rep and I said, "What is this air handler?" I said, "I don't have pricing for this. I've never seen this thing before." He said, "That's the air handler for the 3-stage." He said the condenser is not out yet, but that's the air handler for it.
Well, I heard that, I don't know, this was back about 6 to 8 months ago. I heard it was supposed to be driven on temperature. It'll run first and second stage up to anything over 80 degrees or 85 degrees. It locks out first and goes to second and third. That's how I heard it was going to work. But I'm not sure. That's just what I heard, and that was a while back. And also, we're talking inverters. We got these mini splits. With the mini splits, carriers are supposed to come out with an air handler that's compatible with their mini split systems.
Hey, I told
you. Say that again, Joe. I'm sorry.
With their mini split systems, they're supposed to come out with a straight air handler. That's going to be compatible with
the Mitsubishi deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be very cool.
Well, so Joe, now are y'all switching over to carrier mini splits?
We already have. We've been installing carrier mini splits for the last 3 years.
Now these guys, I've told them that carrier mini splits are almost identical to Mitsubishi.
They are.
Now, have you had any problems out of them, Joe?
No. I rarely get problems with them.
And the price is better.
The price is better. Also, the reliability is right there with Mitsubishi. It really is.
Well, I told everybody that the design team came from Mitsubishi. So,
Well, I told Ralph, I said, if you get a job with them, I will put in some carrier mini splits.
No, you got to start doing it now.
Yeah, I'm going to. I don't think I'll install any more Mitsubishi. It's all going to be carrier.
The Mitsubishi price point is pretty daggum high, and even compared to a Daikin and some of these others, man, it's you're almost out of the ballpark whenever you try to quote against somebody on a mini split.
Well, a lot of the times the guys quoting the Daikin down here are quoting 17 SEER and not 21 SEER.
Yep. And but exactly, 17 to 21. But a lot of people doing their basement or doing their bonus room, they're not worried about those other three SEER points.
Yeah, well, it's true, and that's worst case scenario anyway. But still, you can buy a 1 ton Daikin 17 SEER with the whole package, line set, pad, everything for $1,000 less than you can a 1 ton Mitsubishi.
Yep, exactly. It's the Mitsubishis are a lot more expensive.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I'm definitely going to start installing carriers.
But the Mitsubishi brand it's solid. I can count on it.
Yeah.
But with some good feedback from you and Joe and stuff like that, I definitely wouldn't be against putting one in.
Yeah.
No, they're not that hard to put in. They're just like a Mitsubishi, I mean, they're pretty much all the same all the way around. But yeah, that's one thing. Mitsubishi kind of sells itself just by the name. They're kind of known. They've been known for a long, long time. And they do have good product, and carriers starting to take some of that market share away. It's just going to take some time. It really is.
Yeah, because they've only been doing it 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've only been doing it 3 years, so.
When they first came out, it was kind of like their R&D was basically based on what we were finding. So it was kind of irritating at first.
Right.
And once they got the bugs worked out of it, it's not too bad. I mean, there's going to be stuff that I think I was working on one the other day, and it needs a fan motor and a console unit, but this thing got hit by lightning and it's problematic.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had many problems with them at all. It's mostly been installation problems, like installers doing stupid stuff they shouldn't.
Well, that's just about every problem that we come across.
Yeah, that's a lot of the problems.
Yeah, that's 90% of the problems I've had with any kind of carrier mini split has always been installer related.
You got many leaks on the flares?
No.
No.
Unless they really screw them up really bad.
Right.
I got the Zoom lock flares now, man. It makes it so easy.
Really?
Yeah, they make a flare stub, that's that long, and Zoom lock it, and the flare is perfect every time.
Really?
That's for many splits, because I mean, there's with EXVs, they're so susceptible to soot and dirt and junk in the system.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
hey, how many guys y'all have working for you?
Oh, let's see. I got, including myself, I got 8 service techs. I got 3 maintenance guys. I got 3 install crews, 2 piece, and we got 2 salesmen. People in the office. So it's a company of about 30-35 people right around there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a decent crew.
Yeah. And Ultravision are going to hook y'all up, huh?
Yes, actually talking to the boss this morning about it, and I did call down there, and they did send a sample up to me in the carrier color, and the cabinet's painted carrier color.
And it's going to have y'all's name.
And it's going to have our name in it. And yeah, they hooked us up. They're going to hook us up. My boss likes it.
What is this, Joe?
You want to go ahead and tell them, Ralph?
The Ultravision filter cabinet.
Oh,
they're going to use it.
Oh,
because they have different colors. I mean, I was at American Standard distributor the other day, and they had an Ultravision cabinet there that was painted American Standard color.
You talking about the right angle cabinet or the?
Oh, yeah, the right angle cabinet and the regular
Okay.
cabinet.
Cool, man. You know that change out that you sent to me today, man. That guy had an old Ultravation electronic air filter up there in his attic. He said he said he hadn't run the electronic part in a long time, but he liked it because he could stick his media filters in there. So
yeah.
So I quoted him some on a separate line item. I quoted him putting him in the UV cat. So we'll see what he does with it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a good product, but so Joe, you missed us talking about the Zoom lock a while ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so but you don't have it, right? Or do you?
I do not have the Zoom lock, and I'm trying to get the spoiler rep in to do a demo. So I want to get the boss on it because it's gonna, there's a lot of liability issues with running torches and especially with.
You guys do water piping?
Just boiler piping.
Well, see, if you did boiler water pipe and stuff like that, you could buy the rigid tool, which does the pro press, and then get the Zoom lock jaws for it. Then you got one tool do piping, water piping, and you could do refrigeration piping with it too.
I might have a pro press sitting at the shop. I don't know. I gotta look and see.
It only fits in the smaller pro press. The smaller the older ones are big. They look like a big gun, but they got the smaller one, which is like the RP 200. The Zoom lock jaws only fit in the smaller ones.
Yeah, I'll have to check into it and see what's going on. But I got to get a hold of the spoiler rep up here through our company, Carrier Great Lakes.
What I'll do,
with the
Joe,
supply house.
What I'll do is I'll get you the number. Detroit area, right?
Yes.
I'll get with Dennis tomorrow and get you the rep's number, and you can just call him directly.
Yeah. I'll have to check it. I gotta check it out because it's gonna save a lot of time and aggravation.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we get apprentices on the job and they just don't know how to braze. I mean, it's not their fault. They gotta learn.
As long as they know how to use a hacksaw, they can use the Zoom lock.
The hacksaw.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a running joke.
So I mean, yeah, it would definitely help out. It would help the situation because we do so many installs. I mean, sometimes I got one crew doing like 2 or 3 ACs a day.
Now, how much time would that Zoom lock save you if they didn't have to run torches, take torches everywhere?
Oh, would it save us? Probably a lot of time.
It would pay for itself.
Oh, it definitely would pay for itself.
Oh, Hernandez says gas piping also, like natural gas. But
y'all do gas pipe, right?
Well, there's a mega press which does crimp joint for black iron gas pipe, but the mega press and the Zoom lock, the jaws don't interchange because the mega press jaws go in the bigger rigid tool.
Right.
It's like the 240 or 220. Right. I can't remember. It's the bigger one. The Zoom lock jaws go in the smaller one. So unfortunately, you can't buy one tool and do all 3 of them. We're lucky at the shop that we have one of the bigger ones, and then a couple of the guys.
Now, have you used the mega press, Brent?
Yes.
You like it? I guess so.
Oh, it's fantastic. You can get your big tubing cutter and just cut that black iron pipe.
The thread, yeah.
Just cut it wherever you want to. Cut that black iron pipe wherever the hell you want to. Stick you one of those mega press fittings on there. Whether you want to put a T right there in the middle of wherever, put your T right there and crimp it on there, and you're done.
Wow.
No more threading, none of that stuff.
That's crazy.
Well, cool. Well, guys, we've gone about an hour. Do y'all want to keep going, or?
Well, I'm gonna have to hop out of here, man, because I'm tired, dude. I'm done tonight.
Well, cool.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. It's been a good one.
Yeah.
I guess we'll talk at you guys a little later.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
So you want to hang out, or you want to go, Jeff?
We'll hang out for a few more minutes. I'm gonna have to get going here pretty soon. I got kids to take care of and so on. Kids and birds.
Kids and birds. The birds.
Yeah.
Birds are almost as bad as kids, huh?
Yeah, I got my one bird under here. He's just bothering the heck out of me. So,
Zoom. But yeah,
yep.
Like I said, I'll get the Detroit rep, get their number for you, and then you just call him up, and he'll make arrangements with them.
Yeah. I mean, I got to do something, you know. I try to help move along the company as best I possibly can, you know. And I think that'll help, especially, you know, with these, like the ultravision filters. You know, our boss is not aware of everything. He sits behind a desk and runs numbers all day. And,
well, yeah, I mean, you know what? YouTube's a great place. I mean, because you would have probably never found out about the ultravision without YouTube.
No.
I mean, look at what it does for like the Zoom lock. I mean, these guys want to push tools or products. The best place to do it is us. Not saying me in particular, but I'm just saying YouTube.
No, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but we'll definitely have to do this again because it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get to cover everything I wanted to, but
but we can do it. We can do it whenever. It doesn't really matter. I'm always up for a hangout, and the guys are, you know, and this will always be on here. So
I was having a lot of difficulties getting on. I was having problems with my camera. I was having problems with my microphone. I was having problems with everything.
I like where you got your microphone stuck.
Yeah, you like that? It comes in handy.
Oh yeah. I guess so.
Comes in handy. Hey, you know, let's see. I seen I think it's Noble Plumbing and HVAC. Hey, are you in Michigan? Over in Rochester? I was just wondering because I think I've seen his trucks around here.
Yeah, he asked about Great Dane, so
I don't know if he's still here.
Let's see. I got to ask the question if I use a ductlator. Yeah, I do actually. And it was right here. I used it the other day, and I don't know where I put it.
Yeah, I use them. Not used to, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not really sizing a whole lot of systems, but I do have it right here.
Oh no, he's in New Jersey.
Baja, yeah, I braise mini splits whenever I possibly can.
Where's this at? I thought, what I really wanted to see is kind of a few more questions in the chat.
Well, that'll come as we keep doing these. It'll come.
Yeah. What's it say?
For a couple of days and watch you do.
Yeah. Yeah. Come along for the ride along. That'll be a blast. I've been trying to get Ralph up here. He's been asking me about what casinos up here.
Yep. Let's see. I've been using MERV filters.
Oh, come on. MERV 2.
Yeah. Near my washer and dryer, I've been using cheapo filters. Should I use pleated? At least the low end pleated. Fireman's 3-pack from Home Depot.
Yeah, a lot of guys use those.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I tell the homeowner, hey, go to Home Depot and buy these, buy the 3-pack, they're like $9.
Any oil? No oil heat up here. I don't deal with any. I mean, we have it around. It's very far few in between. But I don't do any oil.
Yeah. JR
Steve
says,
Lab on the way.
Yeah, that's Steve Lab. JR says the last meeting split. Yeah, I do cut the it depends on how high off the ground the connection is. If it's pretty high off the ground, yes, I'm gonna braze it in.
Yeah.
Well, you have a
Then Noble asked me about heat exchanger pricing. We're not going to discuss any pricing.
Yeah. Oh, Jason, you got it. You listen to the podcast. Yeah, you can go to jacksonsystems.com. They have this thing called Filter Fetch. You can just order them what you need from there. It's free pack completed for $8. I'm just asking you, as some of the people here tell me don't use pleated and such. Are they bad? They're talking about the more expensive pleated filters.
Yeah, and what else we got? Yeah, I mean, we got to be noble. We got to. I mean, we can work under our boss's license. I do have my own mechanical license. So, I mean, yeah, if you're working for a company, you do not have to be licensed mechanical. But I do hold my own mechanical.
Yeah, that's the way it is here. Of course, I have a license, so anybody that works under me is working under my license, but they do have to have an EPA card.
Yes, everyone in our company has to have an EPA that's working.
Yeah, we're well, because my channel is open to the public, so anybody can see it. So yeah, we're not talking about pricing. You can talk about it in the chat there, but because the chat will disappear after this video goes live, or after it goes, after we're done, it'll go on my channel, but the chat won't. No, the pleat's not going to hurt your new system as long as you're not buying the $20 filter from Home Depot.
Yeah, the 3Ms. Stay away from the 3Ms.
Yep.
But what you need is a 4-inch filter cabinet to reduce your static pressure.
No, because of what because he says right there by the laundry. So I'm picturing kind of like a townhouse kind of.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ralph, I think I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get together sometime soon again. I like doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's about an hour. It's not too long. People can watch it later. I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, and, what I do is, when you guys do podcasts or, the Cowboys do podcasts or whatever, I just, driving call to call, I'll listen to 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, just to kind of catch up. Oh, the one thing that I should have talked about was John's video. I think it was yesterday.
Oh, about the 407C and the
it kind of confused me.
All right, so here's what happened.
Well, he told me what happened.
Okay.
But most of the guys don't know, and it was kind of confusing. But what he did is he had a R22 coil. Well, maybe you better explain it.
No, that's what he had. He had an older R22 coil. Oh, he's in a 1989 mobile home. You're just pretty much stuck. You can use those cheap pleated filters in that door. Yeah, but what he did, he had an older R22 coil, right? And it wasn't 410 rated, I don't believe. So, he was just kind of scared of doing it, and they didn't want to change out the air handler. Yeah. So he was just like, well, okay. So he put in 407C.
You know what? I don't see there being a problem with it. Due to the fact is, okay, what's a compressor? It's a compressor. What's it do? Right. It pumps. It doesn't care what flavor refrigerant you're putting in it.
No. The only thing you can't do is you can't put 410 in a 22 compressor.
Right.
That's the only thing. But you can put 22 or 407C in a 410 compressor.
Correct. Because that compressor is a lot thicker, a lot beefier
Yep.
than a 22 compressor. Now, the same compressor, you could use 407, you can use you could use anything, any gas you wanted to put in there.
Right.
So, and to be scared to do it, I wouldn't worry about it as long as your meter device is right.
He was just nervous because he just hadn't done it before, and the internal release not going to bother it because your pressures are so low.
Yeah,
compared to
it's
410.
not going to bother it.
Now that's why I say you can't put 410 in a 22 compressor, but you can switch it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the oil. Well, the oil was POE, so the 407C was fine in that compressor.
You know, that's another question about oil. Is that, you know, I mean, we've used, like, I'm sure we've used different, like 134 with mineral, haven't we?
Do what?
134A with mineral, and you know, I don't think the oil matters too much. I really, really don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not about the compressor never going off. Oh, I see what Joe's saying. They're talking about if something happens, but if you get a restriction in there or something like that, or a dirty outdoor coil, you know, is it really going to hurt it because of sport? No, because your pressure would have to be extremely high.
No, it wouldn't hurt it at all.
I don't know if you would be able to get up that high with 407C.
Oh, you could. You can get up that high with any refrigerant.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, but
you know, to hurt it, no, I doubt it. I really highly doubt it.
So anyway, so Joe, I'm gonna go ahead and close out then, and yeah, we'll do it again.
Okay.
And hey, you guys, thanks for showing up and watching, and we'll do it again, and I'm gonna try to get different guys actually to come in. Hey, one day we'll have Joe Shearer in here.
Yeah, we got to get Joe Shearer.
He never joins the chats, or he never joins the live stream. What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, I just seen him.
I know. I'm waiting for him to scroll back up.
No,
yeah.
I think he's lagging.
Yeah. He said it'd be so stinking hot. All right. So, well, Joe, would you be interested in coming in and talking about your mad scientist skills?
Yes, I do. That's what he just said.
So,
yeah, that would be a good one. You know, I mean, it's nice to have other techs on here. It really is. You know. I don't know. These guys don't know. We talk a lot. We talk once or twice a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, getting on here and kind of getting on with Brent Ridley was cool.
Yeah.
You know, because I've never talked to him. I've talked to him in the chat every once in a while. But
well, that's the whole goal, to get people together that's never talked to each other. You know, and then just because we all see each other, we see each other's names.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway. All right, you guys, we're going to close out. Hold on, Joe, before you go anywhere. We're going to close out. We will see you guys later. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys.